This week on Storyboard, we are catching up with Vidhya Srinivasan, Vice President and General Manager of Advertising at Google, whom we met at Cannes Lions Festival of Creativity. And we have Bollywood actor Bhumi Pednekar, who has joined forces with MAC Cosmetics for an interesting initiative. And we are also joined in by MAC India's Karen Thompson, sharing key insights on the beauty industry. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shubhani Gharat. This week on the show, we are catching up with Vidhya Srinivasan, Vice President and General Manager of Advertising at Google. At Cannes, she caught up with Dilshad Irani and spoke to her about the impact of AI as a productivity tool for marketers. Srinivasan also highlights the growing complexity of consumers' purchasing decisions with an abundance of touch points and an extensive research shaping their journeys. Listen in.
Let me just get your industry view on how you see technology just upending advertising as an entire industry, right? So let's get your industry view first, and then as a Google executive, what's your take on it?
Absolutely. Very exciting to feel the energy in Cannes, and maybe not so much the wind, but we have it all here today. I would say, you know, the moment that we have with AI, it's almost like I don't know how marketers will continue to do their jobs well without the use of AI. And it's really because of a few trends that we're seeing with consumers. So let me just talk about a few of them. What we're seeing is consumers' purchasing decisions that they're making is more complex than ever before. People have so many more touch points. They do so much more research, and there's just so many unique paths that they're taking while they purchase goods and services. And as an advertiser, it's getting really hard to predict what these will be and how to influence these journeys. The other thing I would say is the formats has just been exploding. I mean, I'm sure you feel it yourself. It's not just text. Yeah, it's like images, it's videos, and it's also different. Videos have to be in different formats depending on the surface.
Customizing it to every platform, everything.
Yes, all of that. So again, very hard to figure out. And then the consumer's desire for privacy has gone up multifold because they are leading increasingly digital lives. So it makes sense. So if you put all of that stuff together and you think about the marketer's job of, hey, I want to serve the right message to the right person at the right time, it's incredibly complex. And I think it would be impossible to do without leveraging AI. So I see AI as the way it's going to help the industry. It's really for marketers to sort of stretch their dollar. You know, they're just worried about getting incremental gains on their dollar spent.
Right.
And I see AI as their friend. I see AI as empowering them to do what they do really well.
Yes, because the debate has been going on, right? Is AI friend or foe?
Yeah.
And there are some interesting sort of conversations going on about regulations, about, you know, the extent of AI usage, and of course, safety, consumer safety. But we'll get to that in a bit. And let me talk about what you mentioned, of course, how marketers and advertisers are looking at measurement, for instance. So I'll dial back a little bit and ask you to dig into how you are seeing advertisers strategize and deploy campaigns, and then ultimately sort of connecting the dots through measurement to business outcomes. So how is that, what is shifting, what is changing in the perception of how things work?
Yeah, so I think we are increasingly moving from a place where marketers were really responsible and for the tactics of getting their objectives met, to essentially a marketer saying, hey, look, these are my objectives. Like, I want to maximize conversions for these sorts of journeys, and maybe give us a budget or maybe not, but really stick to figuring out, you know, for their business, for their brands, what are the key objectives that make sense. Put that in their campaigns and let the campaign, the AI that runs the campaigns, really do the rest. So I almost think of the rest as commute cost. It's the stuff that you have to do, but you know, it's really not interesting. So the campaigns and the AI will now figure out, hey, what surfaces to target, which audiences to go after, which format to use. All that stuff gets figured out under the covers for them, and they stick to sort of figuring out what is it, how do they want to come across as a brand, what are the objectives that matter, and be able to do these things at a much higher level. The other thing I feel like marketers can really leverage in this process is with all the new stuff we are doing around generative AI. So generative AI can really help them increase productivity and creativity. So if you think about creatives themselves, I think with this tech, you can now really hasten the speed at which you can do creatives. Like you can say, hey, I want a ball, I put it on the beach, make the ball purple, change the color of the sky. You can do whatever you want.
Add a few humans in there.
Add a few humans in there. That's right.
Yeah.
Make it accessible.
Yeah.
So all of that can be done in a very rapid pace. However, somebody has to decide whether what set of these things need to be done for what they're trying to achieve.
Right.
So that job still is a big part of what the marketer will contribute to, but it accelerates this process. But you can also apply the technology to say even the campaign flow. So you can set up a campaign very quickly, just point to a site link and then have all the assets for the campaign auto-generated for you as a start. So it sort of gets rid of the blank page problem where you're standing with this blank page. But then the marketer can then decide what do they want to really focus on, what do they want to add, remove, change, all the rest of it. So I also see it as a huge tool to improve productivity.
Now we're seeing an entire sort of job emerge out of nowhere, right? Prompt engineering.
Right.
And it's just amazing to see what's happening. Any quick take on prompt engineering that you might have with what you're seeing out there?
I think it's similar to like, say a job family like data scientists who are like super hot right now and very hard to find. And that's really been because of the incredible use of machine learning in every aspect of technology. So this job family emerged. I think in the context of generative AI, whether it's prompt engineering or I think that may also morph into other things as the technology itself evolves.
Right.
But essentially people who are good at leveraging this to achieve the objectives, I think there are going to be opportunities for such people.
Yeah. So it's not that AI will be supreme, but it's the person running
That's
the
right.
AI.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let me just sort of switch tracks a little bit, Vidhya, and ask you about sort of something that we're hearing a lot of marketers talk about, especially this time around in Cannes. People are talking a lot about measurement. People are talking a lot about ad fraud. Now, with ad fraud, of course, viewability, brand risk, all of these themes have been critical over the past few years, accelerated during COVID times, simply because digital usage went through the roof. And now tell me, what are you seeing on that front? You know, how much ad fraud is out there, and what are some of the solutions that people are looking for? What are you hearing from clients?
So I think as the adoption continues to increase, I think the aspects of safety with everything that we do, quality, relevance, the bar for all of that continues to go up. Fortunately, we've had a decade of investment in this space in terms of figuring out how to best handle ad fraud, spam, and even, I mean, this is at the other extreme, but even relevance and quality are in that vein in terms of, you know, how critical it is when we serve something. And so we've just continued to evolve our systems, and a lot of it is, in fact, AI powered and machine learning powered. And we learn as adoption continues to grow and continue to keep up. I think this is one of those problems that we will just be at as adoption continues and more people are getting on. I haven't heard particularly this being a problem of this year or last year. I think it's one of those evergreen things that there will be more people trying to do more things, and there will be more system that needs to be built to protect against those things.
Right. So one last question, Vidhya. What do you think is going to be your key takeaway from Cannes this year?
My highlight has actually been the shift in mindset. I think people have, it used to be the case a little bit like, this AI thing, how real is it? Like, how should we like embrace it? Yeah,
hype
should
cycles,
we just, is it a hype cycle?
Yeah.
Should we fully embrace it? Should we maybe wait for the first movers? And now I think most people have like asked, how do I do it? Not why or when. It's like, how do I go about it? Like, tell me what I can do in the next 6 months. Tell me what I can do in the next year.
Very
and how do I,
outcomes.
very tangible stuff. It's like, what do I tell my team when I go back?
Yeah.
And I think that is the key takeaway. And there's just a ton of optimism. That's the other thing. Like, I just feel people be excited about something. And I really think they're excited about it is because a lot of this stuff was so behind the scenes, sort of the back end stuff. And now they're getting to use some of this tech in a very visceral way, right? It's what they can see and they can feel, and they see the power of it, and they see how it can enhance people's lives. And they can talk to their mothers about it. They can talk to their friends about it. And I think that's what's driving a lot of the excitement towards making this very real for them. So yes, happy to take all of this optimism and take it back to the teams, but we have a lot of work ahead of us.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have Bollywood actor Bhumi Pednekar, who has joined forces with MAC Cosmetics for an interesting initiative. And we are also joined in by MAC India's Karen Thompson, sharing key insights on the beauty business. Welcome back. This week, Bollywood actor Bhumi Pednekar joined forces with MAC Cosmetics for the 29th year of its pioneer Viva Glam Charitable initiative, which supports healthy futures and equal rights for all. With this launch, Bhumi joins the rank of past Viva Glam ambassadors, including icons over the years, including Miley Cyrus, Elton John and Ricky Martin. Under this initiative, Viva Glam, Bhumi Pednekar lipstick is a limited edition lipstick co-created by Bhumi and MAC Cosmetics, which they launched around this initiative. 100% of the proceeds from the sale of this lipstick will go to local organizations that support women and girls, HIV/AIDS relief efforts and LGBTQIA+ community. We caught up with Bhumi and MAC India's Karen Thompson and spoke to them about this campaign, Indian beauty and wellness market, and how the idea of beauty has undergone a significant change and much more. Listen in. Bhumi, Karen, welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you.
Bhumi, let's start this conversation with you. In the backdrop is this beautifully designed, beautiful looking lipstick with your signature, Viva Glam. Can you tell us more about this whole campaign and also your association with MAC?
You know, as you can see, I can't stop smiling because I've waited so long for this campaign to be out. We shot it a couple of months ago, and also a lot of work went into creating this shade, into making sure that, you know, we've cracked the right color. And honestly, I'm just very, very honored. The Viva Glam campaign started in '94. And I keep saying this time and again that my association with MAC Cosmetics is just not transactional, you know, just not about me, okay, like, you know, coming, posing for pictures. It holds a lot of emotional value for me, you know, to actually have a global campaign, a lipstick with your name on it, is very, very surreal to me. I'm such a makeup lover. I'm such a beauty enthusiast. And for any girl, I think this is definitely a very, very big highlight of her life.
Okay, and I believe this, you have done it from scratch, like, you know, including the casing of this lipstick and choosing the color of it. Just tell us about the whole process as well.
I mean, you know,
this is your favorite color.
This is my favorite color. And the thing is, we were trying to crack a beautiful nude, you know, that kind of just works on all skin types, which was of extreme importance to us. I wanted something that just works on everybody. So we went through multiple rounds of like testing, trying it out, and then we had like a few shades and we just picked this up. The formula is so hydrating. It is so comfortable on your lips. So this lipstick is just, the experience has been very wholesome for me, and I honestly love the packaging because I think it's always good to add a bit of sparkle and shine in your life.
Absolutely.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty, and it will definitely stand out, you know, amongst all the blacks in the MAC store for sure.
That was the idea. Nobody can miss it. See, because it is also for a good cause.
It is for a good cause.
Right?
That's
I mean, this lipstick gives back 100%.
Yes.
You know, it looks good and it gives back 100%. So I feel like, yeah.
Karen, over to you. This initiative has been running for the, I think, past many years. I believe a little short of 3 decades, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us more about it. And, you know, initially it started with, you know, your support towards, you know, AIDS and the charity around it. But then you extended it to other causes back in 2019. So tell us more about the whole evolution and what will it mean now?
Sure. So Viva Glam was started by our founders, and they had this idea to partner with talent, breakout talent in pop culture, essentially, to create capsule collections of lipsticks and lip gloss that give back 100%. So since its inception, Viva Glam has raised over $500 million. In India alone, we've donated over 19 crores.
Wow.
And it's a simple mission. We want to look out for equal rights and healthy futures for all. So every time you buy a Viva Glam lipstick, 100% of the selling price is donated to organizations that support women and girls, the LGBTQIA plus community, and those affected with or living with HIV and AIDS. So it's something that we're super proud of, and we couldn't be happier that we're launching a lipstick with Bhumi.
Over to you, Bhumi. We have seen how over the past couple of years, beauty brands are actively involved in driving conversations around causes, in shaping culture as well. What else needs to be done?
I think everything, it has to be a holistic approach towards creating a world that is just better. And, that was one of the biggest things that attracted me towards MAC, because I completely resonate with the brand. As Karen said, it's going to be close to 3 decades that they've been running the Viva Glam campaign. It is trying to create a world that is equal, full of harmony. And for me, that cause is so special. I feel anyways, as a person, I'm somebody who's always, I like standing up for rights. I like speaking about, I'm an opinionated person. And even if you see my films, there is a bit of a messaging, about making this world a better place in whatever way possible. So I also try through my brands, through my collaborations, that it can be, we can just increase the speed of things just getting better.
Yeah. And, even before other beauty brands started speaking about diversity, we saw how MAC palette was so diverse. Last time we spoke...
In fact, my first campaign with MAC, which was the Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, was a campaign that I was so excited and impressed by because it was so diverse. There were people of different ages, of different genders. And it was just an inclusive campaign, and MAC has been doing that since many, many years now.
Karen, last time we spoke, which was like a couple of months ago, you mentioned how, your focus is also going beyond the bigger cities to smaller towns. And someone like Bhumi has appeal across in cities, in metros and smaller towns for the kind of cinema that she has done, the kind of, series that she has been associated with. So tell us, how has, this association also helped you take the MAC brand across, and how much of your focus and plans have been executed of going beyond metros and big towns?
Right. You're absolutely right. Bhumi helps us to reach out to consumers across India. And as I said last time, we are committed to continuing our expansion across India to make sure that we can better serve the consumers who are looking for MAC. So, in this year, we're continuing to expand in the existing cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. We're even expanding in Indore, Vizag, many, many other cities across the country. So we're continuing to connect and engage with our customers across India. And Bhumi really helps us to do that. She's such a great fan of the brand. So, so this is such an authentic collaboration with us. Sitting with Bhumi, it's just like sitting with your best friend, We can talk makeup, and she really helps to connect with consumers.
Over to you, Bhumi. We have seen how, the idea of beauty has changed over the past couple of years. Like what was perceived as beauty is, changing now. But still, there are many toxic traits that, continue to exist. What else needs to be done, to change that?
I feel just enough conversation. If I can only speak for myself. I try through my work to make sure that, I break any beauty standard possible. The idea is to love yourself. The idea is to understand that we all are made from the same skin and we all are equal. And I just feel like the conversation around it should not stop. So it can be in your interviews, it can be in the work that you associate yourself with, it can be your social media. People should just know what you stand for, So, for example, because I had the initial part of my career was more about girls that were from, smaller cities, right? And then when I started putting out like beauty videos, etc., there were like a small section of people that, oh my God, why is she trying so hard? I was like, no, I'm not trying hard. This is the first time actually putting out who I really am. And you know, people have this weird relationship with beauty, which is very patriarchal. You know, and that's what we need to break. That's what we need to change. Because if a girl, and because, you know, MAC is also expanding to smaller cities of India, which is so wonderful, because women today have that spending power. You know, we all are gaining independence and we all want to glam up. You know, so if a girl is buying a lipstick for herself, that doesn't mean that, you know, she is losing control of her life. You know, that is a conversation that happens in India very often. And I feel that is changing through the communication that we are trying to do, through the changing beauty standards in general.
And how is the overall brand narrative changing, especially for a country like ours that is so diverse?
So I think, you know, we continue to look out for what our consumers are looking for and engage with our consumers. So we continually connect with consumers. We do research in India. We understand what consumers are looking for to make sure that we're serving them the right campaigns, the right products, and that they continue to engage and align with our brand value and mission. So product innovation is something super important to us. We're launching new products all of the time. Our continued expansion as well. We continue to elevate ourselves in terms of our e-commerce offerings, live commerce, different ways of interacting with consumers through social media. So whatever it is we can do to stay connected with our consumers and stay true to our Indian consumers as well. So having a collaboration with Bhumi is another way in which we do that, because she's an icon in India and it's someone who can really resonate with the consumers.
Yeah, and this is important, especially at a time when, you know, the Indian beauty and wellness industry is booming, is exploding actually, with so many international players coming in, so many homegrown players, you know, becoming so big and reaching out to the consumers around different corners of the country. Bhumi, my question to you is, as a prominent face in this space, what is your role and what is the kind of responsibility that comes with it?
I feel like I want girls to look at me and be like, yes, we look like her. And I just want them to feel inspired, feel free, feel liberated. I think that's why this collaboration happened, you know, because I have not necessarily done films where I've had a chance to be glamorous. You know, I think the reason MAC thought I was fit for this responsibility was because I was challenging beauty standards. I was trying to make the world a little more inclusive in my own small way. You know, so it could be any of the parts that I've done. And even today, I don't care about if there's somebody who thinks that I don't fit the box that they've created for me. I will never fit into a box that you've created for me, you know, because I genuinely want girls, people from all walks of life, to feel like I'm representing them through the campaigns that I do, or through the films that I do, or through any presence that I have. That's the only way we can make this world a little more equal.
Yeah. Karen, last time we spoke, you spoke about the skinification trend, you know, like how skinification is a crucial beauty trend that is taking shape. Apart from this, if you can, you know, highlight some key trends that you are seeing in the beauty space, and what do Gen Zs really want, because every brand wants to connect with the Gen Zs, and it's like a very discerning consumer as far as I know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, beauty trends are changing all the time, and Gen Zs are having a very big influence. I think for Gen Zs, those days of heavy makeup are gone, and it's more about natural, glowy makeup, something that really emphasizes and enhances your features, doesn't try to hide them or modify them. I think Gen Zs are also really changing the way that we look at our product innovation as well, right? From packaging to multi-use products. Gen Zs are really interested in products that one product can do more than one thing. So we have a recent launch, which was the Studio Fix Everywhere All Over pen. It's a click pen format, and it's a concealer, a foundation, you can contour, you can highlight. So it's super multi-use, and Gen Zs love those kind of products. I think also Gen Zs are really looking for representation. So they're challenging brands now that, you know, they should not just see a singular face in a brand. You know, they're looking for different skin tones, different body sizes, different genders, different backgrounds. And that's something that we've been doing at MAC since day one. So I think it's great that Gen Zs are challenging brands to be more like that.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard. This week, you can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.